Alright guys, so what we're going to look at today is two different concepts that you already know how to use. You just have to put a name to it. Alright, so the first one is going to be segment addition postulate. So all this says is that part of a line plus another part of the line equals the whole line. Alright, so when I look at this diagram to the left, it says find the measure of AC. Now AC is the whole line. So all I have to do is take this first part, so 1 centimeter, and take the second part plus 6 centimeters, and the whole line is going to be 7 centimeters. That is the only thing that we are looking at today. I know it's super easy, but we needed to put a name to it. Alright, so the second example, if AC is 17, so while we read through this, why don't we get in the habit of labeling it? Alright, so if AC, so A to C, is 17 centimeters, and A to B is 5 centimeters. Alright, solve for the length of BC. So this one's going to be a little backwards, so if we use the same concept, so part plus part equals whole. Right, this time instead of giving us two small parts, it gives us the whole, and it says that the whole line is 17 centimeters. Part of the line is 5 centimeters, right? And it wants us to find what the other part is. Right, so if we know that x plus 5 equals 17, we can solve that and figure out that, okay, x equals 12 centimeters. So that other part of the line, BC, is 12 centimeters. All right, now we're going to move on to the second one, which is going to be the exact same concept, but instead of using segments, we're going to use angles here. All right, so angle addition postulate, what that says is the same exact thing. So if I have part of an angle plus part of an angle, that's going to end up giving me the whole angle. All right, so I look at this, and if I want to find the measure of angle BAD, all right, what I have to do is I have to take both parts, so 26, 34, and I have to add them together. So I know that the measure of BAD is going to be 60 degrees. Again, super simple, guys. All right, this next example gets a little bit more difficult, but that's just because I only gave you words. All right, so if I have that angle XYZ is cut by ray YW, so remember a ray is labeled with just one arrow up top. If angle XYZ is 104 degrees and angle XYW is 27 degrees, what is the measure of angle Y or WYZ? All right, so the hardest part about this is picturing it. So this is one where you're going to have to draw a picture. All right, so we've got an angle that's cut by a ray. So we know it's going to look something like this, right? It doesn't have to be accurate. The hardest part is going to be figuring out, okay, what point goes where. So it says angle XYZ is cut by a ray. So we know that this whole angle has to be XYZ. That has to be the whole thing. And then we know it's cut by ray YW. If your letters or your points don't end up like that, you're going to get the wrong answer. Now we can go into, all right, we've got part plus part equals whole. And I'm going to say that as much as possible to get it ingrained into your memory. All right, part plus part equals whole. It gives us XYZ, but if we look at this picture we drew, XYZ is the whole thing. All right, so the whole angle is going to be 104, so that's going to be just like that second example we did with the segments. All right, so the whole angle is 104. Part of the angle is 27. All right, figure out the other part. So we're going to take 27, subtract it from both sides. All right, we're going to come out with x equals 77 degrees. All right, so we knew this was 27. We knew this was 77. All right, one way that you can check your answer is do, okay, does 77 plus 27 equal 74? It does. You get a 4 here, or equal 104. Carry that, you get 10, 104. Great, our answer is right. All right, very last question we're going to do, we're going to throw in some algebra with it. All right, so we have two angles here. The only difference here, all right, and you can't freak out with it, is we have an expression instead of a number. All right, so it says if the measure of BAD, so we look, BAD is this whole angle right here, if that is 62, all right, so that whole angle is 62, solve for x. Well, we know part plus part equals whole. Come on, there we go. Part plus part equals whole. The whole angle is 62, right? And we have the parts, we just don't know the measure, all right? So I'm going to do 4x plus 14. I'm going to add that to 10x minus 22, knowing that it needs to give me 62. All right, so we're going to go through, we're going to combine our like terms. So we've got our x's, we've got our constants. So 4x plus 10x, that's going to give me 14x. All right, be careful with that negative there. So instead of doing 14 plus 22, it's going to be 14 minus 22, which is going to give me a negative 8. We've still got that 62 over there on the right side. Now it's just an equation, all right? 2 steps, so we're going to add 8 to both sides. That 14x just drops down. 62 plus 8, that's going to be 70. Last step, divide by 14. So x equals 5. All right, and that's our answer because it just told us to solve for x. Now, it could have taken it one step farther and said, all right, instead of solving for x, I want you to solve for the measure of angle BAC. All right, if it would have done that, we know that BAC from up here is 4x plus 14, right? So I would just take that x and I would just plug it into that equation. So I would just have an extra step. So I would have 4 times 5 plus 14. That would give me 20. All right, so our answer for that would be 34. So this angle will be 34 degrees. All right, so again, I know it seems super simple, probably seems kind of stupid. All right, eventually once we get into proofs, you will need to know what the names of those are. So you will need to know angle addition postulate. You will need to know segment addition postulate. If you abbreviate them, I'm perfectly okay with that. All right, that's why I wrote it there. Okay, so tomorrow in class, make sure you have notes on this. Remember, I grade the notes. I don't grade that you watch the video. So have the notes and we'll have an activity on this tomorrow.